Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. I am not gay. This video is about why attractive females should submit to me and why they have no viable counter-argument. Let me start off by talking about how society failed females. Let's say Santa Clara County in California, in the United States of America. Here in Santa Clara County, the housing market is ridiculous. Recently, though, they've described it as a buyer's market, but it's still very expensive. You need to make like $110,000 or more to be able to afford to live here. And you really need more like $160,000 a year or so to really live comfortably here. And really $200,000 to live comfortably in a way that a lot of people who are very spoiled would like to live. And we see that causes females to be gold diggers even more. Call it society, call it survival, call it evil, but that's what it is. And of course it is evil to be a gold digger. So what ends up happening when we see this gentrification going on? You know, California is also a fairly racist place when it comes to bread table issues, when it comes to dating, when it comes to so many things. And they're gentrifying certain types of poor people and poorer people out of the area. They're developing Morgan Hill, downtown Morgan Hill, for instance, which is a city that connects to, and it touches and borders San Jose, right, with Coyote in between. But Coyote is basically an extension of Morgan Hill and San Jose. And there's also wordplay, right? Santa Clara County, Satan, clear A, clear alpha. And believe it or not, that's what Satanism is about to a large degree. Right? Isaiah 57, the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil. Evil people screen them out to keep them from reproducing people who are going to be tortured by the evil people in this world. Their greed tortures them. Their wickedness and their backsliding rebukes them. So again, you have the gentrification, the high housing costs. You have the gold diggers, and you have the wordplay. San Jose, right? Hose, the Ho Town. Satan, clear A, Santa Clara County. A demon, right? The word demon is a play on words for odd men. So let's get into my notes about why attractive females should submit to me and why they have no viable counterargument. 1, in life, one must judge people and things quite often. For example, who should you date, if anyone, and why? Is a potential boss worth working for? Should you give a potential roommate a try? What videos should you watch or watch next? What babysitter should you hire? What workers should you hire? Is it safe to go home with someone? Who should you vote for, if anyone? And more. Also, should you play stupid about the fact that they're fuming me and causing me to stumble on my words? Because if you play stupid, you're judging me, right? You're judging me unfairly. You're pretending that there's not something going on and that the video is not up to par for no reason or whatever. And that's stupid. The word par is even in the word spar. So I had to roll down the windows. They're fuming me pretty badly, so let's just shoot through this. Point number 2. In life, one has their ability to sense God and the logical assumption, and that's it. Basically. What conclusions are perfectly conclusive? This includes the fact that the masses of mildly autistic people and scatterbrained and arrogant academics and privileged people cannot be trusted when it comes to their claims of having revelations in regards to God or the spiritual realm. Point number 3. In the sexual sawdust-run Judeo-Anglosphere that we live in, Western sphere of influence, English especially, where LGBT people have inordinate influence, several types of people are key when it comes to what types one should avoid being like. Let's start with the prostitute and the ruthless businessman, the exploiter. who usually is in some kind of corporate alliance. One key measure of a person is how much they avoid sleeping with people for position and how much they avoid benefiting from the exploitation of the poor. So why would they try to be like some kind of slut or some kind of ruthless businessman? Point number 4. One must avoid being like the sexual sadist, the rich white person in denial who is feeding into the exploitation game, especially if they argue they are not. The English come to mind. They must avoid being like the international or nationalist Jew that exploits, especially if they argue that they are not, and the LGBT exploiter, etc. A key measure of a person is how much they avoid being like these people with obstacles considered. If they seek to coerce people into playing stupid about this, how much worse do they become? Everyone needs to hear this, especially them. There is no logical future for humanity, and playing stupid about these things is key in why. Many people thought that they must work within the boundaries of cheating me, and that has brought about the end of all human decency and all humanity in regards to having humanity. Having mild autism and things of that nature is not only not an excuse, but countless villains and their allies sought to use this as an excuse why they knew that they could have tried much harder to be righteous. Point number 5. The difference between a smart person and a dumb person, when they consider these things, is the smart person will stand firm and obey God through me, and the dumb person will not. And some will even say dumb things like, we have noticed that too, while doing the wrong thing. They'll say, hey, we noticed that too, while they're doing the wrong thing. Okay, so notice I was fumed in this video. Why? Because I know what I'm talking about. You can tell by what I'm talking about. Take it slow, pause, write it down, look at the annotations. Hear what I'm saying. I'm somebody who not only has a higher sense of what to do, the highest form of reason, while I'm fumed and persecuted for years, mind you. But I have the insight to make this video anyway, even though I'm fumed, which takes a certain degree of insight that most people simply don't have and that you simply don't see anywhere else on top of that. Not only am I smarter than everyone else, I'm smart enough to insist that people rally to me. There is no celebrity that can honestly say they're smarter, anywhere near smarter than anyone else. Nor do they have a logical argument as to why you should rally to them. It's pretty straightforward. Now, if someone is an attractive female, they are a high value asset to so many types of people. They're very sought after. They especially should submit to me, and they have no viable counter-argument for these things. As I make my case, right, CAs. But you see who cares and who doesn't care about God and doing the right thing. Care, CR. See who you are. Proof, pro-of, profound, the profound arguments made through sabotage. I take a whole lot of pride, and I should, in being wise enough to continue to make videos through sabotage, even though I'm not getting that many views at this point. It's a very complex decision when it comes to this idea in this world, when one is being fumed and poisoned and sabotaged and their brain is being hacked to some degree. After all these years, I still have a clear-cut argument as to why I'm reliable and why you should rally to me.